So, can't tell. It's, well, raining earth, wind, and fury down on the land of Montreal at the moment. Just as I'm about to hurl a storm of aggression at YouTube, PornHub, and MindGeek, its parent company. And I'm going to try and do that as calmly and as, well, quickly as I can, because I would like to film another video later today. Right now I'm standing underneath the Mordecai Richler gazebo, which was apparently, I don't know if it was built specifically to honor Mordecai Richler, who I found out was a prominent Quebecois Canadian author, fiction author, and political critic. Or if it was just renamed after him because maybe he used to sit under this gazebo a lot during his lifetime when living in Montreal. But either way, it's very nice. Can't say the same for the reasons as why it was built. Performative activism. Very clearly. Speaking of which, well, I've had it to my absolute limit the last few days with totalitarian, pseudo-totalitarian or so, economic corporations, specifically YouTube and PornHub, two ultra-capitalist online platform company conglomerates, and their blasted fucking idiotic regulations. So, if you have seen my last few videos, you have probably heard me mention the fact that the last week or so now has been rather horrendous for me. Both in terms of, well, my livelihood at the moment, in terms of my psychological state, my interpersonal life, and filming-wise, in terms of, well, video production. It has been some of the most infuriating, atrocious, unnecessarily complicated processes out of almost all my endeavors so far along my travels. So, during my time here in Montreal, I've been staying up on Mont-Royal, which is right behind me, the mountain that is on the island. And here, hold on a second. Right, this should be a more discreet spot. It's more open and exposed to the rain, but oh well. I have been staying up on the mountain. And whilst I have been up here, I decided to film a porno video. As I do in public, have been since I started uploading to PornHub and engaging with my pornographer career. And the process of doing so was absolute nightmarish. It was the most difficult filming process that I have ever had to bloody well undergo. One, because of the fact of it being exposed in a public, me being exposed in a public area. Though I was in a discreet and rather desolate area for where I shot it, it was still open. Two, being the weather conditions, as if you go watch the videos, which thankfully up on my Pornhub channel now, you will see it was weather somewhat similar to this. And then I tried filming at night, during the night in my tent, or me being in the tent and the camera being outside of it. But that footage turned out shit, in my opinion. I'm sure the audio was fine enough, but in terms of the filming process, where I had positioned the camera, the lighting, it was horrible. And then I had made a commentary portion for what was the original video. And I had edited it all together, was ready to upload it. I uploaded it. And it was removed for violating Pornhub's guidelines. I contacted them about it and asked why. What did I do? They said you could hear the voices of children in the background of the commentary portion of my video. So I messaged them back saying, well, that's hypocritical, you idiots. You could hear children and adults in the backgrounds of my other videos on Pornhub that I've uploaded so far, at certain portions. Not in any at all sexual depictions in the slightest, just out in the general vicinity of where my campsite was in all the places I've stayed while filming here in the greater Montreal area. So they never got back to me, at least immediately, for the first time I messaged them. And so what I did was I cut I was like, okay, no, I worked too hard on this. I cut the video. Hold on a second, again. Okay, I cut the video. I cut out the entirety of the commentary portion, which was the entire first half of this, what was originally 2 hours and 23-minute long video. And then I uploaded that to YouTube because I was not going to get rid of that. I had, I think, valid things to say in it. So I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. And then I made just another video clip that I was going to attach onto the re-edited version of said video when I was in a washroom of a cafe in the Plateau Montreal district of Montreal here a couple of days ago. And so what I made it so that I could explain why the context for the whole video may seem a bit off, or continuity might be jolted here and there in it. And I also called out Pornhub for their ridiculous policy, for the flagging system, whatever their system is for enforcing the guidelines, automated, manual, both. And so I tried uploading that. And then I get a notification saying, your video, the re-edited version, which was shorter, has been disabled. Which my anger was getting higher. So I messaged PornHub service team again. Once again got an auto-generated condolence message, which I got the first time as well, I should mention, and saying we'll try and get it resolved as quickly as possible. We care about keeping our community safe, keeping our performers happy, keeping things functional, yada yada yada, all the performative nonsense. That's a load of bullshit. So I received no messaging back from an actual live person until today. But so I decided, okay, I have other things to film, and I've been having storage issues on my phone recently, which I've been monitoring closely to make sure that I prioritize what I can in terms of filming footage. And so I decided to cut the video again and then export it again. And I specifically cut out the advisory I had put in at the beginning of the video where I was in said cafe washroom, and what I had put at the end of Christ alive, Mother Nature. What I had put at the end of the video displaying even more anger towards PornHub's idiotic enforcement of policy. I cut that out just to see what would happen. So, the video was now just me masturbating on top of the mountain in the dark. A redo that I did with better lighting, which I'm very happy about. I actually achieved good enough lighting, and I think a good enough shot of myself up on the mountain in the nightly hours, as well as what I had recorded during the day in my crotchless slip-on. In the pouring rain. Piss poor weather conditions. And that video was finally uploaded, available for public visibility with no issues. So, PornHub, I know for a fact you targeted that to censor freedom of speech and my freedom of expression. You very clearly, your system, and I don't think that was, I'm very suspicious actually of that being the automated monitoring program for your guidelines. If you have, for the portions, I know they do have some amount of it. I'm very suspicious of that being programmed into, well, the software, whatever kind you use, whatever technology it is, to specifically look for anything that is insulting or criticizing your platform on your platform. I think that was a human input. I think that was a human decision. Please prove me wrong, if not. And not in the form of a half-assed, insincere email. unless you send me pictures of how your programming system works. And if it was so, then you admit that you purposely targeted something, a piece of content on your platform that was critical of your policy enforcement. So that was very clear. But after all was said and done, I thought, okay, great. It's live. It's live, it's up, it's fine. But at the same time as this, I was filming footage on my YouTube channel, my series I've been making, exploring the city of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Exploring Montreal Part 7. Here in the Plateau Montreal borough. And I was running out of storage space to a point where I had to actually cut some small amounts of footage of clips I had taken that were only a few seconds long, which apparently takes up a lot of space sometimes on my internal storage, and other times it doesn't for some reason. I don't know what that's about. I had to delete them. I had to get rid of them and cut them from the video, which ultimately I think was a good enough decision. They weren't necessary to have in there, and the video would have been a lot longer than, well, what it is now, 3.5 hours. So I think that was ultimately fine enough. But I was waiting in mass anxiety outside when it was in the nightly hours as it was drawing to... Oh, great. Well, looks like the power's out here. Or at the very least, they just shut off these lights. Hold on a second again. Okay. Alright, I think this will do. There's a giant tarp over here in this park at the base of the mountain. No, you can't see my face too well, but whatever. Okay. So, I was waiting in very much fearfulness that I wouldn't have enough storage space to export the goddamn video. But thankfully, I did have enough. And as I was wandering around, just outside at night, after a long, hard, and frustrating time, I thought things were going to turn around. Oh, yes, I forgot to mention, my bike was stolen recently. If you've been following me on here, I had a bike that I had named Camden. He was stolen from me outside of a film theater. And I was devastated. This is at the same time as I was filming the footage for said YouTube video, as well as trying to resolve the issues with PornHub. And I was completely devastated. And I was crying after that when I walked back to my campsite because it was late at night when he was stolen, and it was raining like this out. Not as bad, but still raining. I walked all the way up the fucking mountain in the rain, pouring down, cold. But regardless, I just reflected on the situation, and I thought, okay, you know what? This could quite literally be a lot worse in retrospect. A lot worse. So anyway, all this was happening at the same time. But after the video for YouTube, fully exported to my camera gallery with no major issues, I was like, oh my god, yes. Thank fucking Christ. Thank God. I seem to, and this was after I had gotten this other video, the third re-edited version of my porno up on PornHub. And so I went into a Wi-Fi spot at this time of night. It was around nearly midnight, nearly 12 in the morning. And it, holy shit. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to be able to upload this in peace. And then as I get into a Wi-Fi spot, I get an email from YouTube that tells me I have lost accessibility to certain features on my channel because of, well, not completely following their rules. And I thought, what? And I'm not joking. I lost accessibility to features such as pinning comments on my videos in the comment sections of them, adding external links, URL links in my descriptions of my videos. And in terms of what affects me, posting to my community tab. And also, apparently, my community tab as of current is no longer available for the public to see. I am only able to view it. And I just yelled, what? The word what at the top of my fucking lungs. In the middle of the streets. At 12 a.m. in the morning, where this Wi-Fi spot was. So actually, okay, you know what? Hold on, I'm getting into better lighting. Okay, seems there's a momentary stop in the precipitation. So, let's hope I can say what I want to say full through in this window of time. YouTube literally barred me from being able to basically provide resources for information I deem valuable for my viewers to see, such as on posting things on the community tab. Oh yeah, like my diagrams. My scientific proposal diagrams, which were up there. That was one of the only places that they were publicly available on the internet, other than seeing them in the footage of my scientific proposal videos, both the original ones from Ottawa and the recreated ones from Laval. One of the only places other than that, and on my PornHub channel in the photos, in the photo gallery section of it. And hold on. So while I have time, I put in the effort when I was at a public library today to write down, copy down, word for word, the email that YouTube sent me. So let me read it to you. Hi, a damn slice of cake. To help keep our community safe, we limit some of our more powerful features to channels that have either built and maintained a positive channel history or that have provided verification. We've noticed that some of your recent activity might not follow our rules. Your channel has lost access to advanced features. How this impacts your channel? You won't be able to do things like get higher daily limits for live stream shorts and video uploads, embed live streams, pin comments, and add external links to your video descriptions. How to restore access to advanced features. Build a positive channel history by following our community guidelines, or provide video or ID verification for quicker access. This may not be available for all channels. I'm going to say this in the most blatant, direct possible way I can. YouTube. That is not a statement about policy change. That's not a advisory for how to fix these issues that may impact any creators' channels. Issues that you cause and enforce. That's not any of that. That is a vague threat. That is a very vague and very subtly worded threat. That's a threat. That's a threat to anyone who has any sort of activity in terms of content creation on your platform. Thankfully, I don't depend on YouTube as a source of income. I don't monetize my videos. I can't. I can't right now, even if I wanted to. And I won't, ever. But for those who do, which clearly, I checked out some other channels that I follow. And clearly it's affected theirs, this policy change. It's affected their, well, channel functionality as well. Quite literally, that was the most passive-aggressive email that I have ever received in my life. And by the way, you might be thinking, and because when I went to check out, I immediately went to check my channel on YouTube to see if this had affected any sort of visibility or if any sort of removals had occurred without my permission. And only one occurred. Other than the no longer being able to pin comments. Or guess adding any sort of links to websites or other videos, images in my video descriptions. The one major thing that affected me was the community tab being unvisible to public eyes now with this new policy in place. That was what I had mainly relied on, hopefully, to inform people about my theoretical work and my field of research implementations for my scientific proposals. That is where I had posted easily the clearest possible images of my diagrams. The ones on PornHub are, you can see them, but they're blurry to some degree. And they're also tilted. I guess they didn't export to the channel well enough, so they were tilted from the angle I had shot them at. It wasn't compatible to be horizontal. They ended up going vertical. You quite literally, YouTube, you ruined, just ruined a very helpful resource tool. One of the few that you have. That was just, and that there was the cherry on top for me having enough of the nonsense of corporate entities, more than I already have. And to make matters worse than everything that I've experienced in the last few days, was the uploading speed was atrociously slow in this Wi-Fi spot, and my phone ended up dying before the video uploaded. Now, as you can tell, the video did upload today when I was in Wi-Fi, thankfully, and had my phone charged. But the worst possible thing that happened to me out of all this, because of all this piling on top, where I basically just broke down crying in my tent on the mountain, was I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. I was gonna try and film Exploring Montreal Part 8, where I was gonna go into the downtown area, which I'm still gonna do tonight. I was gonna try and film it last night, if I was able to upload the video at that time, but I wasn't. So I decided, you know what? Just go to sleep. Your blood pressure is through the roof, I'm sure. And your emotional state is completely full of conscious apathy and aggression in that regard. Just go back to your tent cam and go to sleep. So I did that. Went back to my tent in the pitch dark, or mainly pitch dark, woods, with just the street lights from the main road that runs through the mountain shining into my tent. And as I was getting ready to go to bed, all of a sudden I hear a voice in the woods coming up probably one of the trails. They were speaking in Quebecois French. I couldn't understand what they were saying, but it definitely seemed like their sentence structures were not coherent, having a large amount of dysphagia and maybe some amount of dysarthria. And I sat there quietly. I had closed the flaps of my tent and sat there listening to whoever this person was walking through the woods. And then I heard them yell Not like, not really a yell, I would say, out of, like, say I did, out of pure frustration in terms of something being immediately, or not in just what you would think of a typical angry yell. It was more of a shriek. I really can't imitate it. And I heard that voice get fucking closer to my tent. I just sat still. And I pulled out, and this is hypocritical of me, but... well, no, actually no, I'm an ethical situationalist. It's not hypocritical of me. I reassessed my moral values at that moment of what was needed for the scenario. I pulled out my at least 8-inch long knife that I have, a steak knife, and I sat there because the scariest part was I just all of a sudden, as that voice got a little closer, not terribly closer, but audibly I could hear that person, as they were speaking, get closer to my campsite. I heard their voice stop. And I heard no footprints of any crackling brush, of leaves, twigs, rocks. I heard nothing. And that was more frightening than hearing them. I would have preferred if I just heard their voice trail off. Then I would think, okay, all right. If they were, not assuming that they are, or I wasn't even fully assuming, obviously, at the time that they were, if they were a dangerous person, then thankfully, if I heard the voice trail off, that means they would have gone away. I didn't hear that. And I didn't hear that for 2 whole hours, because I sat there with that knife drawn in the tent for 2 whole hours. And I did not sleep. Fucking hell! This'll do. You know, we're crouching under these hydraulics. Yeah, I don't care. Safety regulations, don't stand under them, whatever. It's not a smart idea, I know, but, well, it's what I'm doing at the moment. And finally, I was able to fall asleep. But that was just the tipping point for my new method I'm trying to practice. I'll talk about this in a future video in relation to my books I'm writing, specifically one that's one of my non-fiction works. How I've been trying to develop a method to, in a morally competent way, deal with conscious apathy in relation to disrupt to our 5 subconscious desires. But this was mainly the tipping point. I was livid. I am livid. So, and you know what happened today? After my video finally uploaded, when I was in public Wi-Fi, I got an email from PornHub saying, "Congratulations! Your video that was initially removed is back up! It's back up!" With the first half commentary portion of it in and everything. Fuck you, PornHub. So, I'm not going to make this little rant longer than it needs to be, as I've already expressed my opinions on this before. But I'm going to say this. YouTube, PornHub, and MindGeek. You ultra-capitalist, neoliberal fascist, morality-disrupting, sociopathic, egocentric, histrionic bastards. You destroy and tamper with the artistic creation, the financial income, and cultural expression of millions. You destroy their safety. You destroy their peace of mind. You claim to be putting on this... First, let's do YouTube. YouTube, you claim this performative front as being for the content creators on your platform of all demographics, no matter race, sexuality, gender, religion, political affiliation, which is impossible, by the way. Specific cultural practices, all the rest. And yet, you put in policies like the ones that have targeted my channel. Clearly because of the amount of nudity that I've had on here. Uncensored nudity. And, I guess, insults towards companies such as you. And your operations. And how you ideologically, culturally influence society. How you create mass traumatization psychologically because of said societal problems. Well, you're full of shit. Same with you, PornHub. Oh, you've been presenting this new face that you're not some corporate sexual hedonistic entity, platform that is for genuine sexual empowerment and for sexual liberation and sensualistic expression or things of the sort, that you're this force of, well, you don't hide the fact that you're for this objectivist capitalist individualism for sexual income benefit, but you present it as if it's this high value and very prestigious thing in how you and what you provide. It's not. You destroy genuine sexual connectivity, and you destroy genuine sexual artistic expression. You destroy the lives of those, both for YouTube, specifically in relation to sexuality. For YouTube and PornHub, you destroy the lives and destroy the cultural practices of the LGBTQ+. You destroy it. You don't help it. In polyamory, you destroy it. You don't help it. You are monopolistic, mega corporate entities that sole goal is to make profit off of the vulnerable and the passionate, genuine, passionate, but also these are intertwined. You can be vulnerable and passionate for those who want to create content for whatever genre it is, whether beneficial or detrimental on your platform. You're destructive, and you are complete degradators. Completely. But I will figure out ways around your little shitty shenanigans. I have before, and I will again. So, message to YouTube. I would greatly appreciate if you stop being authoritarian morons, fuckwads, and reinstate, for not just me, all channels, the ability to post to the communities tab, pin comments and provide links in their videos, etc. Live stream time availability, extension, and for video uploads and shorts, and embedding live streams. I don't know what that is, but I'm sure there are those who stream on here that use it, and you fucked them over. I would like you to reinstate that. Whenever you do for the communities tab, I will be posting the email you sent me. I know I wrote it down here. I had written it down and read it here. Well, I'm posting that email, and there's no negotiation for me with that as far as I'm concerned. Hopefully you learn from your mistake by that being on the internet. Or I'll post it to PornHub on my photos in the photo section of mine. I might even post PornHub's emails they sent me, and my little exchange between the representative for PornHub service team, to show the ridiculousness of it. And if not that, well, maybe I'll find a place to post them somewhere else on the internet, along with my diagrams. I'm able to make an account on, I don't know, I'm not paying for any of them. If Reddit is free to sign up for and create an account to post, I don't know, 4chan, maybe 4chan. Hell, if I was ever to lose access to my channel here on YouTube or PornHub, I could definitely, I'm pretty sure you can post videos there, so maybe I'd take up posting videos there. At the very least posting porn there. Because 4chan is pretty much just the anarchist platform of the internet, as far as I'm aware. Haven't used it much. Or I'd make another YouTube channel if I was to lose access to this one. Ah, and my foot is asleep. That's great. And PornHub. MindGeek. Or so. How about, instead of very clearly having an auto-generated system monitor the guideline regulation for video content, you have human representatives do it? Or, here's the greatest idea as far as I'm concerned for both of you. Destroy and dismantle all regulations that you have. Me being a social anarchist and everything, let it be a completely free platform, both of them, to upload whatever content you want. It will not result in a mass amount of horrific incidents. Believe me. That's paranoia from anyone who actually thinks so. And, well, one, YouTube and PornHub don't care about that. They're performative. They're performative activists. They don't give two shits about any of it. So, I just wanted to vent this frustration. I hope my community tab will, at some point, if these policies are revoked, be reinstated. All the posts are still up, you just, no one but me can see them. But you know what? I will, as I said, find a way around YouTube, specifically for YouTube. There'll be a post. Hell, maybe I'll actually try and make a short video for the first time in a long time for something. I won't say what, but I'll get around it. I'll get around it. You just wait, YouTube. You just wait. And as always, well, let me just say this as a sign-off. Fuck you, Susan Wojcicki. Fuck you, Perez. Wow, what's his last name? Perez. Oh, fuck, I don't know. Fuck you, Dave. Perez and Dave, or Daniel, the two former CEOs of MindGeek. And fuck you, Solomon Friedman, who is the new CEO of MindGeek. I have empathy and sympathy for all of you, but you are psychologically ill people to the maximum extent where you are morally inept. It disrupts your ethical thought process. Interestingly enough, Perez, what's his name? He has a mansion here in Montreal, in the northern end, that apparently, about a year ago or so now, or 2 years ago maybe, someone committed arson on, which is horrible, but I definitely can understand why. I understand why that is, why that happened. But yeah, they have a giant mansion. I think it's the biggest one in the area of Montreal that it was in. I don't know if it's been repaired. Because PornHub's executive branch of operations that's controlled by MindGeek was based here in Montreal. Maybe it's moved to Ottawa now because Solomon Friedman is the new corporate head honcho. I don't know. But hey, maybe I'll check that place out at some point being here in Montreal. I'd have to take a bus over there, but I don't know. So anyway, you all suck. Your regulations suck. They're destructive. They're futile. Pointless. And you're in it for mass profit gain. You're commercialist to an unbelievable extent. And I hate you as of right now. Okay, one more thing. In terms of that, what you send that email, YouTube, just by the way, recent activity, not following your rules and regulation policies. I fed pigeons in one of my most recent videos. What the fuck are you talking about? What's so wrong about that? Keeping up with your fucking guidelines, my ass.